Bula, Malale, Talofa and Welcome to Season 6, Episode 16 of Breakfast Bites by TEIVOVOsports.com. A wrap of Pasifika People sports news on a cloudy and warm Sunday morning, 16 July 2023. Coming to you with tons of hanisi from the 180th meridian in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. In rugby, results from the championship tests last night, where the All Blacks kept their extraordinary streak over the Springboks in Auckland intact, winning another enthralling test 35-20 at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. Meanwhile, the Wannabies have suffered in this agonising 31-34 defeat against Argentina on Saturday evening, with the Pumas scoring in the 80th minute to clinch a thrilling upset win at Commbank Stadium. Eddie Jones's men were trailing by 10 points in the 70th minute before Samu Kerevi scored and Mark Nawaqanitawase intercepted and sprinted 90 meters to score under the post to give Australia the lead in dramatic scenes. However, Pumas fullback Emiliano Boffelli shattered the hearts of every Wallabies fan in Western Sydney, barging over just moments before the siren, handing Australia its second consecutive loss under Eddie Jones. In Rugby League, the Storm were far from their best last night, but ended up with 2 vital points that'll keep them inside the top 4 for another week, thanks to a Xavier Coates hat-trick. They struggled to produce anything in attack for the first 50 minutes before running away with a 30-16 win over the Sydney Roosters. And Cowboys coach Todd Payton says that he'd like to rest his Origin stars, but their poor start to the season won't allow him that luxury. Valentine Holmes, Ruben Cotter, Jeremiah Nanai, Murray Taulangi and Reece Robson all backed up for North Queensland in their 19-8 win over Manly last night after featuring in Origin 3. And in Brizzy, I will say this about Payne. I believe he'll stay a Bronco. Kevin Walters says he's comfortable with what Haas is doing and has every right to explore his options, but ultimately believes the star Ford will stay in Red Hill. This after the Tough Guys manager revealed the Broncos star received an offer from an NFL club as he prepares to test his value on the open market. For the record, the Broncos won 44-24 at Belmore yesterday without Haas. And at the Tour de France, defending champion Jonas Vingegaard fought off a ferocious attack from Tadej Pogacar on the first of 4 Alpine tests in the Tour de France yesterday, as Spain's Carlos Rodriguez won stage 14. Vingegaard now leads Pogacar by 10 seconds. After winning a war of nerves in the battle for the title that has fans in raptures. At Wimbledon, Marketa Vondrousova defeated favorite Ons Jabeur in straight sets to make history as the first unseeded women's singles champion at Wimbledon. There have been a string of surprise slam winners in a period of flux for the women's game, but Wimbledon had been the exception until now, with the Czech Vondrousova taking advantage of a nervous performance from Jabeur to win 6-4, 6-4. While this was a great moment for Vondrousova, the quality of tennis on display in an era-strewn final was a disappointing advert for the women's game. In sports biz, at the midway point of the 2023 Major League Baseball season, this is not your grandfather's boring old baseball. During the off-season, the MLB put its infamously timeless sport on the clock for the first time. Thanks in part to the pitch clock, the games are faster by about 30 minutes. Despite the games running 30 minutes shorter, the average watch time per game at home on TV is 55 minutes. Now, up 31% from last season. The pitch clock has been a literal game changer. This year's games are averaging 2 hours and 38 minutes versus 3 hours and 4 minutes last season. The games are shorter but turbocharged with more action. Offense and base stealing are in and wasting time in the batter's box, and pitcher's mound are out. The pitch clock has been hailed as the greatest invention since sliced bread. And with telecasts running a half hour shorter, watching the grand old game hasn't been this much fun in decades. The result, a more compelling TV product by several important metrics. Both national TV viewership and live attendance are trending upward for the nation's oldest professional sports league. TV viewership is averaging 338,000 viewers over 14 telecasts, up 41% from last season. On the advertising front, TV regular season sales are up 20%, and MLB says its sponsorship and merchandise sales are trending toward record levels. Clubs are estimating a 14% boost in sponsorship money, driven primarily by another new innovation, the sale of jersey ad patches. MLB's social media accounts are posting their best year ever, with 3.3 billion views, up 67% from 2022. Average game attendance is up 8% to 28,832 fans per game. And Father's Day games drew over 600,000 fans, the biggest total since 2008. But the real miracle is looking towards the future. America's pastime is now attracting those elusive younger fans. TV viewership among fans 35 and under is up 14% this season. Even the median age of average ticket buyers is 6 years younger than in 2019. And in combat sports, undisputed and undefeated world super lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis has been released from jail in Baltimore after serving 44 days, ESPN.com reports today. Davis, 28, was sentenced on 5 May, the week after his win over Ryan Garcia in late April, for a 2021 hit-and-run case. At the time, Davis received a suspended prison term and 90 days of home detention, plus 3 years of supervised probation and 200 hours of community service. But he did not meet the conditions of his home detention and so was ordered to serve the remainder of his time of his home detention in jail. Davis's release should mean he's free and clear to fight again. In football, Ireland's pre-World Cup training game against Colombia in Brisbane yesterday was abandoned after only 20 minutes. After an Irish player Denise O'Sullivan was taken to hospital. The girls in green faced the South Americans in a final World Cup tune-up game at their training base in Brisbane, but the game was abandoned early after a bad challenge by a Colombian player, which left the Irish player with an injured leg. Colombia had managed to get 2 yellow cards in the 19 minutes beforehand. Okay, girls, don't get too excited now. TEIVOVOsports.com. I'm Calden Kamir. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons below if you want to receive more Pasifika sports highlights on Breakfast Bites. Mahalo, ka kite, and thank you all, Pumas, for all your love and support.